For the first time we got Halo Infinite gameplay of the campaign, though disclaimer, apparently this was recorded like 4 months ago and it's like an early build of the game, so don't judge it too much graphically because it will get polished. From the 1 minute gameplay trailer, it looks really polished in comparison to the 8 minute gameplay trailer. I do question why they showed off this build though. Like, they could have just, because of the whole pandemic, I thought they might have re-recorded like a more current build, like a more polished demo, but ain't the final product. I thought they might have re-recorded and done it like that, but they stuck with this gameplay, which gave people, well, a lot of people loved it, but there were a few people that were like, oh, you know, oh, look at this brute, his textures are terrible, but then it's not the final product. When you watch a 1 minute gameplay trailer, it looks good. It looks nice. Just to say this, I'm terrible at breaking down stuff, but after rewatching this trailer multiple times, including the 8 minute gameplay, it actually looks really good if you set it to 4K on YouTube. Just rewatching in 4K, you'd be quite blown away at how good it actually does look. It reminds me a bit of like Halo CE plus Halo 4 for some reason. I'm not sure why. It's just my opinion, but I really enjoyed it. I love the fact that in this 8 minute demo they showed off all new weapons. Like, that was the main focus. They showed off spike grenade, they showed off the deployable shield thing, they showed off the grappling hook, they showed off Ravager, they showed off like this weird Muller gun, they showed off like this, like a 10-round shotgun. It's like, what? And one of the best things from the trailer, which a lot of people don't even mention, is that there's wildlife in the actual, like, you know, in the actual gameplay. There's wildlife. There's the little rat things going around. There's like birds that look like they're the birds from Guardian. First thing first, if you look at the bottom left, the sonar is only 31 meters. In every Halo game, it's been 25 meters or 40. But in this game, it's 31? Like, that's interesting. You know what? I mean, that ain't game breaker, that's just interesting. Like, it's just the halfway point of too much sonar to too little sonar, and so they went to the middle ground. Like, I like that. Also, the HUD reminds me a lot of ODST HUD, with the weapon at the bottom right, the sonar, well, the sonar always at the bottom left, and the grenades and everything else is at the bottom. Yeah, it's super clean. It's like a really clean UI. There's nothing like blocking the screen. Also, the AR have 36 rounds instead of 32. In every single, well, apart from Halo 1, it has 60, which is interesting. The AR, I have to say, is very good looking. Like, just from the very first like 5 seconds when you see Master Chief turn around, that AR looks amazing. When you go over a weapon, it tells you a very brief description of what that weapon does. Also, that Phantom looked very static, but then I do love the design of how it looks like that Phantom could land on the ground from the way it's shaped. Because usually Phantom always levitate over an area they want to land, but this one looks like it could physically land on the ground. Who knows, that might not be true, but it's just something that I just thought about. And of course, sprint. I do like sprint in Halo 5. It isn't that bad. The thing I didn't like is Spartan Charge, but from the look of this, from the way that he was sprinting, I believe he was sprinting near to full speed. There wasn't a Spartan Charge indicator, and the sprint movement didn't seem that fast. So I think, you know, 343 took feedback, they slowed it down a little. I think hopefully they remove Spartan Charge, because I just didn't like it. in campaign, I like it, but in multiplayer, it just, I don't know, it's just so annoying. So apparently each of the turret ejector tells you the exact difficulty the ejectors do have. So this demo must have been running on normal, unless they do scale, but in this demo they're all normal. Also, what I found really interesting is at the top left there is an upgrade tab. Like, I'm curious what that is. Like, is it upgrade for the sonar? Is it upgrade for how many hook shots you can carry? Is it, I don't know, is it upgrade like attachments? Like, that's gonna be interesting. Maybe you can do like side ejectives to unlock new gear. So if you do side ejectives, you might unlock something for this upgrade. And then of course the database, so I reckon it's more info on missions or the overall story, or just database, like, you know, from the wildlife that you do see or the weapons that you pick up. It might give you a more in-depth detail of each of those weapons that you do come across. Also, it's super nice to see that the elites got full body armor for once. Yeah, now this gun looks really good. The Commando, which is like it's a more precise automatic weapon, which looks very interesting. I'm curious if headshot damage is still applied to ARs. Like, this gun could replace it. Who knows? Yeah, they've brought back regenerated health, which is, yeah, instead of just needing medikit, you can just regen your health, which seems very interesting. So yeah, this is where the gameplay gets a bit more interesting, where like equipments are back in the game. Like, not just the hook shot, but also the deployable wall, which is basically the Halo 3 deployable shield, but on bloody steroids. Like, it's huge. Like, you can shoot through it. It's very interesting. It's like a hybrid of deployable shield and bubble shield, but you could shoot through it, which I find that funny because on Reddit a few weeks ago people were surprised that you could shoot ARs through deployable shields in Halo 3, which a lot of people just didn't know. Even I didn't know that. And yeah, I went to Forge earlier, tried out, and it's like, yeah, you could shoot from one end but not the other. But yeah, I can't imagine the deployable wall being in matchmaking, because that would make a lot of people salty. But in campaign, it seems like a really good fit because of how many enemies there are. Like, if you see, I don't know, 3 brutes, 3 grunts, a few jackals, and they're throwing like spike grenades, shooting Ravengers. Like, this deployable shield seems like a really good situation breather. Like, you should drop it down to give you some time to reload, to regen. Like, I think it's a really good addition to campaign. Now, I want to bring up the hook shot. I am curious, like, is there a benefit of hook shotting yourself toward the enemy to punch them? Like, does that increase the melee damage, or does it increase movement speed toward the enemy to just have a normal melee? I love the fact that you can use the hook shot to pick up a fusion coil and throw it at the enemies. Like, that seems really interesting, and I really hope it is in multiplayer. Like, I mean, like, picking up fusion coils. I know the hook shot's in multiplayer, because I believe someone confirmed it. You can literally use the hook shot on a fusion coil and chuck it at an enemy. So the reason I like this idea in multiplayer is if the enemy got all the power weapons, like, oh, the enemy got a rocket, the enemy got a sniper, but we got the hook shot and the fusion coil respawned. So I'm gonna go have a makeshift one-shot rocket launcher by picking up the fusion coil and chucking it. Like, that seems really good. If you're losing by a long shot and you happen to pick up this hook shot, it would be interesting to have a turnaround of using the environment as your weapon. Also, this new handgun sidearm reminds me a lot of Halo 5, the gunfighter handgun that was added into Halo 5 like a few years in. It kind of got the same kind of shape to it, and it got the same kind of pace, like shooting, like the rate of fire. It looks very similar. Also, I absolutely love the flying suicide kamikaze grunt. I do like it. I like the fact that brutes do like underthrow grunts across the map. I mean, I kind of apologize that the only thing I don't like about it is the weird like running animation that they do. But other than that, I still like the idea that brute could literally pull a trump card on you, being like, oh, okay, I ran out of grenades. It seems really like comical, like it seems interesting. Like if you're on legendary playthrough, you have to be worried about these kamikaze grunts. Instead of like jackal with beam rifles, there's these grunts that the brute can throw at you. Like you think a suicide grunt is super easy because they scream and they run towards you and you got all that time to shoot them, but a flying kamikaze grunt, how fast they will go across the sky to land on you, like that's gonna be a big threat. And I like the idea. I mean, I can't regret putting on Reddit the video of the grunt like moon running, or whatever the hell you want to call it, but yeah, it is a demo. They might polish it, or who knows, they might just leave it in. But I like the ideas of brutes using their grunts as like temporary equipment. Well, like I said, they kind of throw the grunt, but the thing is, if they miss you, the grunt do still survive and they run towards you with the sticky grenades anyway. Like they land on their feet and they come back running to you. So that seems interesting. It's like a deployable grunt, kind of like ODST, where they land near you and then they start attacking you. It's just going to be like a really good surprise attack on like higher difficulties. I am kind of curious if you could grapple hook a flying grunt out of midair, because that would be very interesting. Also in the trailer, the shade turret got like a shield barrier to protect the grunt from getting headshotted, so yeah, in the gameplay they throw a fusion coil at it to disable the shade turret shield, but later in the trailer the shade turret shield regenerated. Like the shade turret seems more usable in this game. So yeah, the great thing about that 1 minute trailer, it looks a bit more polished than what the gameplay demo that we got shown, and the fact that the energy sword is in the actual, well yeah, of course the energy sword going to be in the game, but we actually get a glimpse of what it looks like, and it looks amazing. It looks great. It seems interesting they added a sun grenade into the game that kind of arcs out and suns multiple enemies. Like that seems interesting for campaign news. Sun grenade will be very handy in legendary to use it against enemies and just, you know, one-shot them in the back with a melee or assassination. And that's the one thing I didn't see. There's no assassination in the trailer, but who knows, in a few months they might show it in the multiplayer trailers or multiplayer stuff, so that would be great. So in the trailer there was a BR. Yeah, it's a BR, it looked great. Near the end of the 1 minute gameplay trailer there are marines on the Warhog. Like there's marines in the passenger seat and the turret. Might be like Halo 1 where you rescue marines and then, you know, you might have to help them evacuate. But yeah, I'm pretty bad at like deciphering trailers, but I still wanted to, you know, re-watch it multiple times and had a different take. I can appreciate what 343 are doing, and I can say like this game is in good hands. From the campaign perspective, I mean, we don't know too much about multiplayer, but from everything I've seen so far, I cannot wait. Can't wait till they show off more vehicles, which in the promo image there is a wasp. So the wasps are back in the game. Yeah, I really enjoyed it and I cannot wait to get it. Apparently coming out in holiday 2020, so my guess it might come out at the launch of the Xbox Series X. So yeah, this has been Crespo with a very awkward kind of analysis, but hopefully you enjoyed and hopefully you are hyped for Halo, and also cannot wait to start playing Master Chief Collection on PC in a minute, so it's been great. Good times. So I've been Crespo, Elsai Congaroo, and I hope you enjoyed.